Hello, I'm James Izimoha. Welcome to Africa News. Let's see your headlines. Tanzania votes despite ban on opposition candidates. Ghanaian innovator uses artificial intelligence to transform healthcare access. Kenyan activist named on Time 100 Next 2025 list. Kenyan activist Rose Njeri has been recognized on Time magazine's Time 100 Next list for 2025 for digital activism in Kenya. She created an online tool that enabled citizens to engage in public consultations on a controversial finance bill despite facing arrest and detention.
Kenyan digital activist Rose Njeri is among 4 Africans honoured on Time 100 Next for 2025, spotlighting her work in empowering citizens through technology. Njeri's online tool helped the public analyse a contentious 2024 finance bill and communicate feedback to Parliament, promoting transparency amid protests over potential privacy violations and cost of living impacts. Rose Njeri says the 2024 finance protest inspired her to build the online tools.
So something, to be honest, awakened after the 2024 finance protests, and I kept it going. And in that way, I also started thinking, what can I do in my own personal capacity? So I started building these tools. So the finance bill one wasn't the only thing I'd done. I had also built something that's in the spirit of satire, which is not illegal, by the way, which changes the president's name. It's an extension, a Google extension that changes the president's name to one of his nicknames, because he has many. Then I also had one called an insult tracker, where I was basically tracking when they insult us.
She also says there is room for collaboration between activists and the government for the benefit of society.
If any tool I create helps the government help us, then I think I'm in the right direction. So they just need to be less aggressive towards things maybe that they don't understand or that are new to them. As long as they are working, in fact, you should be collaborating with people like me, not attacking us.
Njeri's recognition underscores the growing role of tech-savvy youth in holding governments accountable and highlights the potential of digital tools to foster civic engagement while navigating legal and political risks.
Tanzanians went to the polls to elect a new president and other government officials on Wednesday, with President Samia Suluhu Hassan widely expected to win. Meantime, opposition candidates from leading parties were barred from running, raising concerns about the electoral process.
Tanzanians are voting in a presidential and parliamentary election, with President Samia Suluhu Hassan seeking another term. Leading opposition candidates were disqualified or barred, including Chadema party leader Tundu Lissu, citing non-compliance with electoral rules, limiting competition according to election authorities. President Samia Suluhu says citizens should come out and exercise their right to vote.
I also would like to say that I have already voted, and I plead with all citizens, those at home, please come out and exercise your right to vote and elect the leaders you want.
Opposition party says the election is an illusion of a democratic process.
The ruling party and its government have described as an election, but a majority of Tanzanians do not see it as such. They see it as a performance staged to create an illusion of democratic process, which in fact is not the case. It is actually Samia against Suluhu.
While Hassan retains broad support, the absence of major opposition voices highlights ongoing tensions over political freedoms and accountability. Observers will watch closely as results are tallied to see how Tanzania balances voter participation with a constrained electoral field.
In Ghana, a young entrepreneur is harnessing the power of artificial intelligence to make healthcare more affordable and accessible. Darlington Akogo's company, Mino Health AI, is using cutting-edge technology to improve diagnostics and patient care across Africa, showing how homegrown innovation can bridge critical health gaps.
Malaria partners, I was asking them.
No one would guess that the world's most sophisticated artificial intelligence for health has come from the brain of a 29-year-old from Africa. But Ghana's AI genius, as he has come to be known, is working on so much more. He has applied his innovation skills to aid biologists.
This is WACBIB, which stands for West African Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens. So they are one of our partners, especially on the bio side. The value of what they have is they are one of the leading research labs that we have on the continent of Africa.
We work on infectious disease. At the same time, we do a little bit on non-communicable disease and human genetics. We also have quite a few platforms. Our work is underpinned by what we call technology platforms. And these are available for supporting research in the country and in the region. So people come for training on different techniques such as sequencing, flow cytometry, imaging.
Darlington is providing AI for teaching in classrooms.
So Darlington has been a very long time friend. We have sessions on advocacy on emerging technologies, and he usually comes to speak to the crowd when it comes to emerging technology and AI. So when we wanted to bring some AI into our product, we quickly engaged him, and he has been very fruitful and guiding, where we put an agreement together to be ensured that he build the AI system onto the platform where we can be able to build and also get the children to be able to use the AI in a more engaging way.
Darlington has been the architect of a national AI strategy. The Ghanaian government is now requiring all ministries to incorporate AI into their short and long-term plans. Every day, Darlington Akogo shows the world that African innovation can be a global leader as he harnesses the ideas of other young Ghanaians, adding his own genius to a platform that helps millions get affordable, accurate health expertise.
In Malawi, President Mutharika has declared a state of emergency as failed rains and poor harvests have left millions without enough to eat. The government is appealing for urgent aid as the country races against time to prevent a humanitarian disaster.
Malawi has in recent months been hit hard by a prolonged dry spell that has affected farmers and decreased their harvests. This has caused a widespread food shortage in the country. Even residents of the country's capital, Lilongwe, have been affected by the shortfall. The government says more than 4 million people are facing food shortages. The situation is expected to worsen until the next harvest season in March 2026. As hunger pangs continue to bite across the country, newly elected President Peter Mutharika has moved to address the situation. He has declared a state of emergency and appealed for international help. The government says many communities urgently need help.
We're calling upon local and international partners to come forward and support the families that are food insecure. Our budget is $119 million for us to support all these families.
The state of disaster has been declared in 11 of the country's 28 districts, and those most affected by the hunger are already receiving food donations from the government. The long drought in the country has caused crop failure and led to high commodity prices. Some families are missing meals as a result. For many residents of Makatani, on the outskirts of Malawi's largest city and capital, Lilongwe, the situation is dire, with some now forced to rely on donations of maize and other foodstuffs to survive.
When people come to grind their maize and process it into flour, I help them, and some of them give me maize bran for my meal. But in the past, they could give me a lot of bran to process into flour for my family.
As desperation grows and the drought across Malawi persists, the government is stepping up efforts to take food to the doorsteps of some of the hardest hit communities. It's appealing to international donors and agencies to step in with much needed assistance, even as organizations such as the World Food Programme also do their best to ease the suffering of communities in the most affected districts in Malawi.
South Africa is taking a major step to protect marine life with the launch of its first harbour-based net recycling facility in Cape Town. The pioneering project transforms discarded fishing nets, often deadly to sea creatures, into reusable materials, marking a bold effort to curb ocean pollution and restore balance to fragile marine ecosystems.
The ocean looks calm on the surface, but underneath a story of tragedy is unfolding for millions of marine creatures struggling to survive amid the mangled masses of plastic, mostly from commercial fishing operations, that end up in the sea.
This is the scourge of the earth at the moment, and it is affecting marine life by ingesting microplastics, by getting caught in fish net. It causes a lot of problems with whales, dolphins, sea turtles, and also with fish. Fish go in and never get let out again.
South Africa is hoping to reverse the tide through a groundbreaking recycling project that turns these silent killers into reusable material.
So we've had to be innovative and come up with everything that we can to make sure that this project can work here and that we have a nice and clean recycled product coming out of this and that there's no waste along with it.
Collected from commercial fishing companies, the gear is shredded into flakes, washed and dried before being sold.
I'm not just recycling the net, I'm saving more species that can be entangled by these nets. My hope is to make this project to go wider. It cannot be only in this port, it can go to other ports.
Plastic never fully disappears from the environment. It breaks down into microparticles that not only threaten ocean life, but also endangers human health. The project changes the scenario by repurposing discarded nets into hardy products, such as clothing and industrial equipment.
If you're turning waste into something of value, then you find that people will actually remove it. And that's the key thing. So we're creating value chains out of what actually was rubbish polluting the environment.
Described as a glimpse into a sustainable future, the initiative aligns with South Africa's climate change and development goals, tackling pollution, protecting marine species, and creating jobs in the green economy.
Well, that's all we have today in Africa News. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to A News.